Welcome back. This is Jacqueline Jax from Jax Watercolor, and I'm going to be showing you how to paint this amazing expressive floral. In my Heart of the Garden series, I explore loose, expressive florals that lean into feeling over form. This particular rose painting was created using handmade honey watercolor in rich Midnight Merlot and Fern. The colors seem to carry their own mood before they even touch the paper, and I felt that we could achieve just what we wanted with just two colors. It's a nice challenge for artists to be able to do that, and there's still a lot of depth and softness that flows naturally by keeping things simple. A limited palette sometimes is a challenge, but it allows the painting to evolve rather than be controlled. I'm working on 100% cotton Jax watercolor paper, 300 GSM. It provides the kind of surface that welcomes the water. It holds each wash, each bloom, each unexpected edge with grace. And I prefer the paper, really, because it's just helping me manipulate the pigments. If you're painting on something that isn't 100% cotton, it can actually repel water and repel the pigments. So the effects will be a lot different. But no matter what, just hang out with me and enjoy shaping these flowers, because it's not about the struggle of working against your supplies, but embracing what you have. Using a flat brush, I'm going to begin by layering in broad, confident strokes. The idea here is to lay down the color in different ways and different strengths. You want the suggestion of petals rather than a defined shape. The flat edge creates a natural break and lots of angles in my mark making, and that's helping the rose feel more alive without overworking it. Of course, that's the essence of expressive rose painting, right? It's not about capturing every petal perfectly, it's about capturing the feeling of the rose and the whole work in its entirety. So the way it opens, the way it leans, the way it exists in a space is what we're trying to capture here. After all, roses have inspired artists for centuries because they hold emotion so effortlessly. They symbolize love and beauty and fragility and even resilience. But when you paint them loosely, they become something even more personal. They reflect your hand, your movement, your interpretation of that exact moment in time. And that's where the reality of being an artist really begins and kind of ends there too, because if you're exploring this style, give yourself permission to experiment. Try different brushes, different papers, different pigments, consistencies. Use washes and thick paint. See how dry brush skips across the surface and gives you different mark making versus how a loaded brush floods it. Pay attention to what feels natural in your hand, what marks excite you, because the movements feel like your own visual language, and that's what we're gunning for here. I like to have a lot of different tools on hand because to me, a brush is more than just a brush. It's a mark making tool, and different brushes with different hands are going to lay down those strokes differently. And those unique marks are what you're looking for. So if you're using a brush that doesn't make a mark that you like, or in your hand it doesn't do something that you want it to, try something else. Because the beauty of watercolor lies in its unpredictability, and the beauty of the rose lies in the imperfections. When the two meet, something honest emerges and something expressive that is entirely yours is what you get. I love it, and I could paint it over and over and over again and get something different every time. I think that's why I like the limited palettes, and typically in the watercolor subscription, I deliver to you 4 colors in each subscription. Those 4 colors used together combine in so many different ways, and they make you think about your painting. They make you develop your own style instead of getting lost in mixing color and getting lost in what colors do I use and where do I start. I start you off in every single painting, give you a tutorial that you can grow with and that you can do over and over and over again, and come out with something that is truly your own. So I hope maybe you'll go check that out at Jack's Watercolor, because between the paint and all of these beautiful, inspiring videos that you're going to get, I think you'll find your own unique style, and I can't wait to see it. So if you notice, I'm taking the flat brush now and just kind of using water to spread the paint. I want to kind of fill in some of the white space in the background because I want the florals to stand out, but at the same time, I don't want to lose all the light by having too much light. This is just a personal choice. You can do it differently, because what we're gunning for here is showing you and inspiring you to paint, but not actually painting for you. And I think there's a difference, and it's important because you need to find your road. You need to find your way. I'm using different angles on my brush, so note that sometimes I turn my brush to the side, sometimes I'm going straight in. I'm just using it as a mark making tool. And then sometimes I'm dipping my brush in water and then the paint, and other times I'm just dipping paint and waiting until the brush goes to a dry brush almost effect, and then picking up more paint and adding that in so that it's a little bit heavier. And this is how you get all those different tones and all those great marks to last on your paper and not get so washed out. Now, of course, if you find that your watercolor dries really light, that's probably because it's either a student grade paint or it's got a lot of fillers in it. And even high quality professional watercolor will have a lot of fillers because there isn't very many ways to preserve paint and make them last on the shelf for years and years without a filler. The only exception that I know to this rule is the honey pot paint that I'm painting with, and that is Handmade Honeys by Jack's Watercolor. They are pure pigment, so there's 4 times the amount of pigment in them because there's no fillers. So when you open a jar, you've basically got an organic honey-made binder and pigment, high quality, pure, refined pigment. I've been making them for myself for decades, but I now make them for all of my wonderful watercolor members. And if you're watching this video, you probably are one of them. So hi, and thank you so much for all of your incredible words and support. I love seeing you paint, and it's really exciting. This has been a really exciting time so far. What a journey we've had together. So getting back to my rose, if you notice, as the paint is drying, I am dipping right into the honey pot and grabbing that pure pigment and laying it down, I would say kind of recklessly, but at the same time, I'm looking to shape some intentional marks into the rose to further accent, so some of the areas I'll see they're drying like a different color, like a little bit lighter pink because of the water. And so I use that as an opportunity to break up some of that space. And that gives my roses just a little more detail. So depending on what you have and what you're looking at, you kind of want to look for like the center of the rose and how it evolves, and think of the darker paint value as the shadow. So if you look at a rose petal as it's attached to a rose, where the petal attaches to the base is the shadow area, right? That's the darker area because not a lot of light is there. And then the area that the light is hitting is just naturally lighter. So we want to leave like some areas light and some areas more shadow. So I'm using the darker paint as it dries to kind of shore up those shadows. And that's the contrast. That contrast is what brings out the light. So if there's too much light, you don't really have a contrast in order to see it. and it just looks washed out and it doesn't look three-dimensional, right? But if you want that three-dimensional feel, you want to have the lights and darks, but you almost have to have enough dark in order for the light to show. Does that make sense? So if you review this video again, you'll see that in the beginning there was a lot more light showing, and then I start to fill those areas with either light smudges of color, little tints of the color, or heavy color, and that gives me that nice contrast. So leaving just enough is the balance. That's something that you're going to decide. So go paint, have fun, and don't forget to check out my handmade honey watercolors at Jack's Watercolor. Thank you for watching, and leave me a comment below if you liked the video, and I will do more for you. Have a wonderful day.